The girl picked up a rabbit, just put it in the middle of the road, thought it was kindly released, did not expect that this rabbit is just her bait. With the recorder's red light flashes, the shooting officially began. Not Smart Rabbit as if also sensed the danger, followed by a black figure from the side of the building out of these guys, actually a group of zombies, smelling the fresh rabbit, that tantalizing smell. So these long time, no food. Zombies excited very much. In the next second the rabbit jumped up and pounced over. Only the rabbit deftly avoided the siege, while in the other side, the girl put away the equipment and prepared to leave. The zombies who didn't eat were very excited. In the next second when the rabbit jumped, but the rabbit dexterously avoided the zombies' siege, while on the other side, the girl put away the equipment and prepared to leave. Her behavior attracted the attention of the zombies. At the critical moment, she fled all the way to the pre-prepared area and pressed the preset device, followed by a huge spread of flames, and the area shrouded by flames became the girl's safe territory. At this time, the girl was not able to escape, but she was able to escape to the pre-prepared area. In this small zombie wave, the girl thought it was safe and was ready to evacuate. She had experienced many disasters. She confirmed that this kind of vibration was not triggered by an earthquake, and as expected, a huge worm came out of the ground, with sharp teeth on it, as if it was still hanging on to the flesh of other creatures, and in order to avoid the attack of this kind of worms, she fought against this monster, but even if she was more careful, it was still caught by the worm, and was knocked unconscious after it had been knocked out. Caught, after knocked out, the worm was ready to eat it alive, but did not expect the sound of bullets coming from behind. The three soldiers relied on the machine gun in their hands and managed to finish off this fat, huge worm. After confirming the safety, they went up to check the girl's life condition. But after seeing the mark on her wrist, they felt shocked in their hearts. Being able to escape from the new wake of the mail room as the most special one, the girl, with several people brought to the human survival base. The result was not expected, is that the two sides actually fought, completely out of the girl's expectations. The bullets poured down. The girl had no choice but to flee, to avoid the deadly threat behind her, and just in the process of escaping, she met a person she did not expect to see, told her sisters were looking for her. Only, after hearing this sentence, the girl did not have any joy, but instead, without hesitation, jumped into the herd of zombies. And the reason why she did so was because the person in front of her she knew, this girl whose name was Jade, 14 years before the doomsday fell. Although it was a question, but it was obvious that she was already sure of this fact. What does he do in the Umbrella Corporation? The man said that he was a server administrator as soon as he heard of this position, Wesker on the surface of the clouds, but said something that made the man's heart tremble words. This threat to make the man's back cold. The arrogance of the flame dissipated in turn, pleading, want to get the other side of the forgiveness, but also this incident. So that Billy's father, where the Umbrella Corporation, a strong interest, the next day, she came to the company, relying on her father's name of the Wesker, can be free to Umbrella Corporation inside the free flow for 3 hours, where she saw a lot of their own touch cannot see the invention, until she saw a carload of rabbits were pushed into the elevator. She began to wonder what the company upstairs, so she and her sister Knott's discussion, in the night, quietly sneak into the Umbrella Corporation after the internal, came to the mysterious 4th floor, where they found a lot of experimental animals. In the Billy observation of these animals at the same time, Jade used her father's password, unlocked the laboratory's computer, in which she saw the biggest secret of the Umbrella Corporation. Inside was a video of humans fighting against zombies. At the same time, Billy found a mysterious box on the 4th floor. She took Wesker's identity card and successfully unlocked the cabinet door. While the cabinet door was opened, the animals inside the lab had some agitation. Inside this box, what was actually imprisoned was a hound dog that had already been necrophiliacized. Out of control, she rushed towards the sisters. At the same time, the alarm inside the Umbrella Company triggered. The whole company has been locked. In order to avoid the Attack of the zombie dog behind them. The two sisters can only cover their mouths, do not send out cries of fear, and just at this time, they accidentally appeared, even if they have already hit ahead of time. But with a virus-enriched zombie dog, the sense of smell is more sensitive. Just the door, but how to open it. Coupled with the zombie dog's fighting strength burst, broke through the obstruction of the glass, raised on the sister Billy. In order to protect the sister Billy, sister copied the fire extinguisher to solve the zombie dog. At this time, Billy's situation is not optimistic. They return to the office, but also at this moment to find the place. She did not blame the two daughters of the impulsive, simply for the two people bandage the wounds, and after that, let them follow the back door and leave, and then use their own permissions, to today's security camera all deleted, and then the pot of this matter back on their own, and Wesker's mistakes, caused the attention of the Umbrella Corporation senior Marcus. Wesker told the other side, he just injected into the experimental body inside the agent, resulting in a sudden mutation of the experimental body, can be, when the high level there is no one stupid. He can see that Wesker is lying. Just to do this position always have to leave a line. He did not poke through the man's lies, just that. With this as an excuse, he fished some benefits for himself. At the same time, it is best to let the drug quickly on the market, and when leaving that sentence, bring me greetings to your daughter, but also let Wesker know that the other side understands everything tonight. Back home, Wesker continued to give his daughter, Billy, treatment. The injured Billy asked his father, the laboratory there in the end. What monsters? Wesker told them that it was just for the purpose of researching the treatment of the drug after the production of the failure of the product. The night Wesker came to Billy, he guessed that his daughter's body, there may be resistance to zombie virus antibodies. So he drew a tube of blood, ready to go back to the study, this behavior, but also behind the back of the silent attention of the sister. Up curiosity, he began to investigate the Umbrella Corporation behind the scenes. The other side, Wesker, with Billy's blood to return to the research laboratory to research. The original pharmaceuticals are all to animals as the experimental subjects. At this time, the side effects of the body attacked, he hurriedly gave himself a serum, only to let the state recovered, in the face of the leader of the urging of his new formula. Wesker is very reluctant, after all, the last outbreak of the zombie crisis in Raccoon City. This lesson is enough to make him careful, but the other side does not care, because he has Wesker's handle, holds the secret of he threatened the man. If he does not continue to researching the potion, the death is not him. Marcus, on the other hand, Jed in order to investigate the Umbrella Corporation, just from these confidential information, but he found the terrible facts inside. The information inside the record, a person was bitten by an animal, as if crazy, constantly attacking the surrounding human accident, in order to and inside the information submitted by the person to communicate the follow-up. Jed, last night's events, edited into the email, uploaded it, and as expected, soon after, being a reporter himself, he also knew that Umbrella had buried a lot of people's lives in the process of researching the potion, and even bloodshed had occurred, only that the reporter had just wanted to write about the mysterious experiments behind the Umbrella Corporation as a news item. But he had been expelled from the news agency, and the truth was something that people needed to know, and if the same thing had happened to Jade in the process of investigating it. Be sure to tell him. On the other hand, the injured sister awakened. Her body seems to have produced inexplicable changes, such as she has been raising a puppy is very resistant to her. On the road is also off the leash, ran into the arms of strangers, and the dog's resistance to the other side that the dog is not proportional, and also to send to the pet shelter, to hear the news. Prior to this has been a very patient sister, at this time, but a direct fist smashed in the man's face. This punch directly to the man's nasal bone broken, although the mouth said sorry, but the man is very afraid of the girl, which makes the proportion of their own was also frightened. Think of their own sister. At this time, the state of the sister, feel some bad? She immediately returned home, but the sister did not open the door, returned home to the father, found the situation: the injection of the serum. Experimental body rats, but also become unusually irritable. Wesker took the rat to the laboratory, found inside the T-virus formula, and blood cells are being fused. GD, at the same time, to start the investigation of the laboratory, found the human experiment report, from which he learned that the general human experimenters will be in 3 days after the fall into a state of berserkness. He calculated the time, began to pay attention to the sisters' changes. The family each carries their own secrets, living an ordinary and extraordinary life. Makuk. But fed up with this kind of day, he directly held a media interview, added the T-virus after the improvement of the drug ahead of the market. In the program, he also said, "This is to make up for his father in Raccoon City made a mistake. Know this news. Wesker took the new drug after taking the experimental department, came to the Umbrella Corporation internal meeting, saw that the rats rage. Wesker reminded the crowd present, this kind of the drug is likely to create new monsters. Marcus, but did not think. He introduced to the shareholders, he has done a brand new experiment. Taking the new version of the drug will not happen at all. And as for the existence of these drugs behind the huge profits, anyone cannot be ignored." He told the shareholders, "The new drug, only to eat more than 20,000 pills, will be out of control, and the normal people will not be the drug at all." As a meal to eat, after the meeting, Wesker defined him. Well aware of the harm of the T-virus, Wesker has always wanted to research out the antidote, to attack the last hidden danger of the T-virus, and Marcus only money in his eyes. In the end, Wesker only said a sentence: change the other side of the idea. As long as the antidote in the hands of the Umbrella Corporation, then the money can only, and will only earn more. This sentence let Marcus, agreed to the Wesker to continue to research on the antidote to the T-virus. As the sun rises, Billy's 72-hour countdown is coming to an end. Lax eyes, mental trance, he rushed into the bathroom, first spit out a mouthful of blood. Good thing these are the T-virus brought about by the hallucinations. Not a moment later disappeared. The more and more he couldn't control his own emotions, but also attacked classmates with their own sister, realizing what he had done in proportion to the unbelievable runaway, worried about sisters. Jade also did not have the mood to study. His classmates is the Umbrella Corporation executive's Marcus' second son of this matter. The top is still sticky blood, which makes him feel bad. Sister, a face of despair, turned. He told his sister that he was very wrong. He hurt the people around him. More importantly, he has the human senses, but no longer have the sense of pain, to see his sister's appearance, as well as constantly seepage of blood on his hands. His sister couldn't bear to, and then put the all things told him, learned the truth of the sister a helpless. Sister can only be on the sidelines to comfort, and Wesker did not give up to continue to study the antidote, only time and time again failed to make him lose patience. Do not want to lose his daughters. He looked at the countdown, anxious. At home, Billy lying next to his sister, looking at only 3 hours left in the countdown, he decided not to be passive and wait for the two of them to come to the site of the club playing, and all of this is another person staring. Contacted Jade's reporter, got a mysterious USB flash drive. Inside is the biggest secret of Raccoon City. After seeing the information inside, and when he saw that information from, after the reporters, all actions are also known by the Umbrella Corporation, the executive, Marcus, got the news. Looking at the messages coming from his phone, he recognizes the reporter in the photo. Only he has not yet figured out what to do. The night, the reporter found the sisters. The other said Raccoon City was blown up. Not the news-reported gas explosion, but the T-virus infected people out of control. The only thing that can be done is to destroy the evidence. And even more horrifying is that perhaps the sisters' father, Wesker, has long been dead in the blown-up Raccoon City. The reporter told the sisters to hurt the other people, only to return home. He realized that the 2 daughters Long has left. No way father can only drive out to look for. The other side, after 72 hours, Billy found himself without a change. rushed to the hijacking of the sisters back home, looking at the images in the surveillance. Marcus's people found him, followed the guide. Wesker came to a laboratory, saw the inside of the reporter full of blood, just didn't expect. The reporter knows his past and his daughters. In order to let these secrets buried forever, Wesker personally manipulated, picked up a surgical knife, ready to give the reporter a lesson. But the reporter's words, but the impact of the sisters, Jade also suddenly remembered, their mother and mom related things. They know little pathetic. So, while Wesker is not at home, they came to the father's room, but also from the bottom of the bed to find the notebook. Relying on classmates' superior means, he successfully cracked Wesker's computer, saw a mail left to his sister. Following the clues inside the mail, they were in the floor under the hidden compartment, found the passport and pistol, as well as the circulation of money, and then in the kitchen found a secret door. Relying on the whistle, Jade summoned a small dog and used the dog's paw to open the secret door. The sisters came inside and found that these are all their tools from childhood to adulthood. In those materials, they saw the horror of the images that make people sweat hair countdown, just when Jade wanted to leave with the information inside, but triggered the laboratory alarm. The fire spread instantly. Well, at this time, the fire suppression system automatically responded to the fire, and the fire dispersed. Billy, without saying a word, directly copied the tool, smashed him unconscious. Wait until Wesker woke up again, found that he had already been seated on a seat prepared for his daughter, Billy. Prepared seat, the daughters disappointedly asked their father about the past. All the things, Wesker also do not pretend, he told the two daughters, is the best fit for the replacement virus. As for the blood pumping, both sisters are not Wesker's biological daughter, but the umbrella created the person. Just what is the secret behind it in the end? Wesker said in order to protect them, the sister first used the dog to attract the attention of the other side, the younger sister with the supplies left behind by the father, and the sister together over the window, successfully left the room, just did not expect. Marcus arranged, the backhand soon looked for him. He lost control of the state, wanting to leave a ray of life for his sister, so he decided to stay behind himself to stall these people. After leaving, Jade found the classmates and told him everything that had happened to him. The classmate took out the 2 pills that Marcus had put on the table, only to find that his aunt had also been injected with the T-virus, just like Billy, and was insensitive to pain. The classmate, who had learned of everything as well as his mother's evil plan, decided to help Jade rescue his sister. Meanwhile, his sister had been taken to the Umbrella Corporation, and Marcus, in a reversal of his usual state, showed a concerned expression, and promises to provide help and treatment for Billy to perfect his final plan. Looking at the huge monster floating behind Marcus, Wesker saw all think, this plan is too crazy. Lying in the experimental chair, Billy, after receiving a checkup, the Umbrella Corporation found that there is no abnormality in his body. Get these messages. The sister was injected with epinephrine. With the influx of adrenaline, the T-virus is even more active. In an instant, Billy was controlled by the T-virus, and with one shot, he killed the assistant who gave him the injection, after which he disfigured Marcus. On the other hand, Jed sneaked into the Umbrella Corporation with his classmates and managed to rendezvous with his clone uncle and his sister, Billy, and he wanted to leave with Wesker. At that moment, the alarm suddenly sounded, and the out-of-control man rushed forward, directly biting his classmates on the arm, and at that moment, Marcus, who had rushed over, see this scene in front of him, feel the sky has collapsed. His son was infected with the T-virus Billy bites. Although Wesker said he could cure his son, how could not know? The situation is simply powerless to return to heaven. Do not want to let his son in pain. Step by step into the monsters. He was directly ruthless. A gun killed his son. In the midst of the chaos, Wesker and the clone snatched the pistol with the 2 girls. Together with the evacuation, Marcus, a person in place tears, after leaving the Wesker and the girls, came to their own underground laboratory. Wesker decided to stay to do the detonation of that person. He explained all of their own things and wrote down a person's address. Marcus came to the laboratory with the hatred in telling their own hate.